Alright, we're live there. Let me close everything I could. Let me do a sound check real quick, because Real Flight likes to not turn on the sound to anything. 1 sec, sound check. Sound check 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see if we get any sound. Okay. Let me check this real quick. Should be everything good to go. There we go. Alright, so we are good to go for the stream. Do it for the stream. Okay. Gonna do some warm-up stuff. We're gonna go over turnarounds today. That's gonna be the maneuver choice. Ah. Wow, that was terrible. Ugh. Alright, we're looking good there. Let me go back to here. It's been one of those days today. So if you haven't watched the stream before, so we do a lot of, yo, what's up? Tommy? Tommy! You been flying that rooster yet? I saw everyone's been talking about the rooster in the Facebook group. Go for it, man. Build video is more important. I'm actually about to do another build video here soon. I don't know how soon, but especially since my build table has got a ginormous computer on it now, but I know the build video grind, man. Not doing a slow build, taking my time. Yep, that's key, especially if you're doing a video. I found like the best thing I did was like I'd have my main camera pointing on what I was doing, and I'd set up a GoPro to just film everything. And that really helped, because if you miss anything with the main camera, you got your backup GoPro camera. What's up, Max Morgan? Let me change the title of the stream real quick. 3D tutorial stream. 3D turnarounds. Then you're a quad guy, so you have like 8 GoPros, so you'll be good. Multiple angles. Oh my lord. What's up, Santa Mike? I like your like shop room. I'm just so jealous. Once I get out of this apartment, my main goal is to get a house with a garage and create the ultimate shop zone. I want to stream like live build videos and stuff like that. That's my ultimate goal. Got that lease though, so once that lease ends, we'll be sliding in them rental house DMs. So I'm going to be going over turnarounds for everyone wondering what the maneuver is tonight. And I totally forgot about this way of explaining them, and I think it's really going to help some people. I know K-Match on RC Groups has been real active in my tutorial thread, so shout outs to you. I think was talking about them. I think I got it figured out. Yeah, a garage would be so nice. I literally have like, let's see, probably like a 3-foot by 4-foot space to do everything. So it's like the struggle is real. I take that back. I got like one table and then I got another like fold table. I do have a cool build video coming up. I might have to hit you up on that. I can't confirm it yet though. And I think I'm gonna try and buy someone's used quad from the group because I do want to get a quad. Like a legit, just to get cool aerial video and stuff. Maybe that's what my tax return will go to, you know? It's that time of year, baby. Baby. So if anyone has any maneuver requests, let me know. I'll do those. Break them down as good as I can. I'm training on the snake. Any tips I've missed? I can definitely go over the snake some. And it's funny, I've been doing the same thing, like trying to repractice that maneuver. And for a while, I just could not get it smooth. So I've kind of worked on a little bit. I think I have something for you. 8x12 room and a 4x8 build table, tight with 100cc. Yeah, building a 100cc is a nightmare. Like you have to have like, I had a ping pong table I built on, and sometimes it took up the whole thing. But building 100cc is so easy because you have so much space like in the airplane and all that stuff. You're not like hitting your hand on anything unlike some of the other smaller balsa airplanes. Foamies aren't bad. I like building foamies too. Like the Twisted Hobby stuff and it's super easy to build. Like if I didn't have to like record all the build, dude, I could do one of those in like probably 2 or 3 hours max. And the RC gadget stuff, like, I don't really call those builds. It's more like mild assembly videos, but we'll just stick with build video for now. They're so easy. I almost did one at the field. Like, I nearly just took the box to the field and built it at the field just to prove a point, but that's how you crash stuff being silly. I want to do a video over this dirty hover stuff, but I need to figure out a better way to explain it, because honestly, this is one of the maneuvers I just started doing, but I couldn't tell you like what's going through my mind right now. You can kind of get it. It's like all muscle memory, so I need to break it down a little bit before I can go over it. We'll do some snakes real quick. So, let's see. Are you trying to do like more tight snakes, or are you trying to do like big, like kind of rounded ones like this? I prefer these. I think these look cool. I kind of like to keep them more smooth, like this. See right there, I kind of missed it. And I found the main thing with these is because you're giving a rudder input, an elevator input, and you're working the ailerons just a hair. And the thing is about a snake, if you give too much, you snap. So keep that in mind. You're pretty much giving a snap like input without actually snapping the airplane. And I guess the main thing about keeping them smooth is that elevator input and how you pair that with that aileron input. Because if you are, you know, too jerky on one, it's going to affect the other. So maybe take your time and really focus on one. You know, maybe focus on just the elevator and don't get and lay off the aileron as much. But, you know, that's how I would kind of approach it. The rudder you're not going to do much with. I wouldn't worry about the rudder almost at all. You know, find that nice little angle where the wings like to be, and you'll find, like, if you try and go too fast, like, you know, you can do it like that, but it's not pretty. But so you can kind of get in a rhythm too. There's definitely a little bit of a rhythm to it. How come you keep constant right rudder on that snake even though it keeps changing direction? See, the snake, you want to keep the same rudder input because you want to push the nose of the airplane into the ground. See, if I change rudder input, then it's not a snake. I need that same rudder input so my nose is always pointing towards the ground, which makes this maneuver scary. If you are changing rudder inputs, then I wouldn't call that a snake. Yeah, if you're, you know, just slow them down. Like it you know, I think, and focus on, okay, I want to go out far this way, come back farther this way, or maybe do some where you're still smooth, but you're not going as far in and out, I guess. So you might have one where you go, you know, you're kind of close like this, and then you have some where you go way out, and then you'll have some where you come way back in, way out, way back in. Yeah, I think that's what some people don't realize is that rudder input. That's why it's scary, because you are pushing into the ground at full speed. And that maneuver comes from, it's called a hurricane. So back in the day, this used to be a cool thing where you would do this like high speed turn into the ground in a circle. It's called a hurricane. The thing is, this is super dangerous to do because if you mess up, you're coming right into the crowd. But this is where the snake kind of came from, and then people realized, well, I don't want to get in trouble for flying into the crowd, so let's turn. Same thing. So maybe if you're having trouble with the snake, just try hurricanes. Maybe not in real life, though. What's up, Hugo Craft? The man, the myth, the legend, the OG. What's up, poor man FPV? Let's see. How about some waterfalls? Waterfalls are good. And also, it depends a lot about airplane, too. That was an okay one. Part of it, too, is like your throttle input as well. You know, getting like... I like to cut the throttle on mine and then bring it back in. You don't want to like fly through it. You want to make sure you're in a like a post-stall state. So, I'm stalled and I kind of kick more throttle back in. That's the main thing. A lot of people like to try and fly through them like, you know, you're just pushing real hard in the elevator. You want to be stalled in some form. Maybe not completely stalled, but you want to be stalled. That's why the next 3D maneuver of the day is parachutes and not inverted Harrier. Because I realized that while it's nice to know inverted Harrier and normal Harrier, if you can't get into them well, it doesn't matter. So we're going to go over parachutes in the next video. So that'll be out tomorrow, hopefully. Unless I'm a slacker or work sucks. Yeah, some airplanes are going to require quite a bit of rudder to get through that, to get through the parachute. It just kind of depends on how they react. I've had some airplanes you can just easily push over, no rudder needed, and then you have some that they're going to fight it, so you can give that input. So that's totally normal. Martin Pickering, yeah, I've seen his videos and stuff. He's a really good pilot. A little reckless sometimes, but he's got his own style, which is cool. I think every 3D pilot has been reckless at some point. Who made the edge you have? Which edge? Trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, I see what you're saying now. Yeah. Pilot RC Edge. I've never flown one of those. I was thinking about maybe doing a pilot airplane for my next 50cc, but I think I know what I'm going to go with for next 50cc. Ooh, that was cool. Alright, let's see what time it is, and I'll go over some turnaround maneuvers. Alright, 3 more minutes, and I'll go over turnarounds. This is one of those things, it's funny. I think, like, the turnaround tutorial is what got, like, a lot of people watching my stuff. And it's funny because, that turnaround maneuver, some people are like, yeah, man, it's like your turnaround, it's not mine. I'd like to take credit for it. But Gernot Bruckmann, the famous, I think he's Austrian pilot, he was kind of the first guy to do them. But they're not mine. I just kind of made them cool. Can you export the edit of the yak you are using? Yes, I can, but I'm not going to say it's like the most amazing thing ever. I really haven't changed that much. Every variant I try flies too good or really weird. So I'm hoping someone like puts some time into it, makes a really good variant that everyone can use for Real Flight 8. Yeah, it's better than stock. I'll throw it up somewhere after this. Have you ever played around with funky mixes like mixing up aileron on both wings together with up elevator? You know, it's funny. I've done that exact same thing. So at XFC 2013 or 2012, the 1 year I competed at XFC, which was terrible. There's a video of my flight on my channel. Would not recommend watching. We had that mix on the 104 slick I was flying. So there was a known maneuver that required you to enter a hover, and we used a mix to where the wings would have both ailerons go up like spoilerons and give full up elevator, so you would go pop up into a hover really fast, and pretty much you would instantly stall into a hover. So we tried that, and it worked, and it made doing this no maneuver, which was kind of ridiculous, and I think hovering no maneuvers are pretty silly, but we used it to try and make this no maneuver easier. Fun fact, XFC, I don't remember what year, but that was an awful competition for me. But we tried it, it worked. I want to get one of the, I know Twisted Hobbies has like the crack triplane or crack biplane. It's one of those two, and they do that same thing where they mix one set of the ailerons just to go up, and it does all sorts of crazy things. See, what the known maneuver was, you had to fly like a straight and level line. So you're flying a straight and level line. Here, let me come back through. So you're slowing down, and they wanted you to drop into a hover. Now, they weren't judging it based off the CG. They were judging it based off the tip of the spinner. So you had to pretty much enter a hover while the spinner stayed in the same spot, and it was not fun. Yeah, one of the two cracked. Camel the 4. I don't know which one's like the actual one. Yeah, pop to hover and hold altitude. I think we had a torque roll and a circle. No, I think we had to. If I remember correctly, you like came into a hover. You got into the hover. You torque rolled all the way around. You stopped and then flew out inverted. And your spinner had to stay on the same line. It sucked. Oh, that's neat. I was just going to ask that if it makes sense for little foamies like the Twisted ones in addition to big gas planes. It's neat. I'll have to give it a go. Yeah, it's definitely worth a shot. It's always fun to play that kind of stuff. But yeah, we've used it. I used it, and I'm pretty sure Joe Smith used it that same year. Torque roll and hold each 90 for a couple seconds. See, with a 100cc airplane, that's just like no fun. I don't like hovering known maneuvers or just hovering known, I don't know, because it's like planes don't care what the spinner's doing. It's all based on what your CG's doing. I don't know. I didn't like it. It was hard. Maybe just because I suck. That's why I didn't like it. That's probably what it was. Ugh. Okay, so I'm gonna hop into some turnaround maneuvers. So these are really popular. They're a great thing to add into your repertoire of 3D maneuvers. You can do it with foamies, full, you know, you can do, yeah, I'm pretty sure Joe Smith used it as well. But these are good with foamies, they're good with 100cc airplanes. I do them literally all the time, so they look like this. So it's one of those kind of things. You can also do them from inverted, so you push, and then you come back around, you're good to go. And these are great for slow speed flying. You can do so much, so they're just really good to have to blend your flights together. And I was kind of having trouble explaining these, then I remembered a good way to do it. So these are just, it's a great way because you come out the exact opposite direction, all that fun stuff. Seems easier with the foamiers at me. Honestly, I think 100cc's do them just as fine. They just have a little more mass you have to deal with, but I think they both do pretty good. It probably depends on the plane though too. Okay, so let's break this down. Let me go into slow-mo mode. We'll do one in slow motion, and then I'm going to speed it back up and show you the trick. Oh lord, that's low. That's really slow. Okay, we're going to do one. So pretty much what you're doing, you're pulling, you're giving a quick input with your rudder and your aileron, and you come out the exact opposite direction. Now I know that wasn't a good explanation, so now we're going to explain this in something that's kind of easier to look at. So this maneuver, like that little quick maneuver, so this whole thing again, if you do that on like a bigger scale, it's this. So you're pulling up, you're doing a roll, you're doing a wing over, and you're flying out. Same thing, just bigger. Same thing, one more time. You pull up, half roll, wing over, pull out. And then if you speed that up, or let me come back around. So if you speed that up, or yeah, hammerhead, same thing. Pull up, roll, hammerhead, fly out. And if you do that faster and faster and faster and faster, you're gonna get this. The main thing is, when you do it kind of the 3D way, it's you're combining that roll and that hammerhead into the same kind of motion, I guess you could say. So when you look at it like that, it kind of makes it a little easier to kind of break down what you're doing. Sorry, responding to a Facebook message real quick. I'm going to call it a wing over if I want to call it a wing over. Yeah, that's probably not the right term, but anyways, that's what the 3D turnaround is on a bigger scale. And it's same thing with inverted. So if you're going to go inverted, typically it looks like this, kind of the 3D version. Alright, so then if we're going to do that, the big version, you are pushing on the stick, half roll, hammerhead, fly out. Same thing. Nope. Hey man. Fine, it's a hammerhead. Same difference. You guys win. I'll give you that one. Yep, exactly. Because this whole thing is pretty much just a hammerhead with a half roll. That's all it is. So if we want to break down that again slower, we'll do it. But I wanted to show that before you do like the 3D version, because that's essentially what this maneuver is. Kind of makes it a little easier to visualize. If y'all know, if y'all are picking up what I'm throwing down. It's okay, James, I didn't know the term, so forever, me too. It can be a wing over. Yeah, you know what? I don't follow the rules. I'm not a rule follower. I'm a rule breaker. I'm a rebel without a cause, boys. Alright, so now we're going to do the slow-mo version of the 3D version again. So we're going to pull up on that upline. I'm going to give my aileron input and my rudder input almost at the exact same time, and then get ready to fly out. I think I give a little bit more aileron initially than I do rudder initially. So I'm going to try it again. Here we go. So we're going to pull. We're on a 90 degree. Start rolling. Give that rudder input. And we are flying the other way. And as you learn these and practice them, they're going to just become way smoother. So we're going to do one more. And we'll start from inverted this time. You're pushing. Rudder input. That was a little early. That was a little too early. Slow motion's throwing me off. Do one more. I wish like some airplane would actually fly like this. Alright, another one of these. Push. Wing over. Rudder. Or actually I did that wrong. Whoops. Pay no attention to that. Push. A little bit of aileron, rudder, come around. Those aren't as good, I'm sorry, but this slow motion sucks. I'm gonna go back to normal real world speed. And you can make it more pronounced so you can like maybe hold off, so really like get that like altitude. So if you throw like more rudder at a different time, you can kind of come out on a downline differently. So here, if I want to make sure I lose altitude, I want to give rudder or a little later. There's just so many ways you can play with it. Like literally, once you get it down, you can just turn it into whatever you want. But hopefully that breakdown of the whole half roll, wing over, pull out thing kind of helps. Hopefully it helps. But that's all those 3D turnarounds are. And there's like 1,000 kind of different versions you can do. One turnaround I like to do is you push like this and you do like a funnel hover and then come back around. That's like one of my favorites. I don't know what that's just something I like to do. But once you get down that initial, you know, basic turnaround maneuver, a whole world of opportunity opens up. What's up, airport dog? Yeah, I can do some torque rolls. I actually saw a bunch of cool like explanations of torque rolls in the Facebook group that kind of different ways to describe doing a torque roll and hovering and all that fun stuff. But hopefully that helped on the 3D turnarounds. Because I think it's good when you can to break down a maneuver into simpler maneuvers. So instead of doing that whole, you know, snap input or anything, it's very simply just pull up, half roll, hammerhead, go the other direction. That's all it is. See you, Max. Get some good sleep. That's pretty late. I definitely wouldn't be awake if I were you. Also, if anyone is wondering about the Park Flyer Freestyle competition, I'm hoping to have all the judges in, have all the scores in tomorrow or Saturday, and then the video will be up, I'm hoping, Tuesday. All while doing 3D maneuver of the day. Denmark, man, you're way over there. Stream is now international status. But okay, let's look at some torque rolls. So the key for torque rolls is to peg the aileron and blip the throttle as fast as you possibly can. If you're not blipping the throttle as fast as you possibly can, you cannot torque roll. If you just do this, it is not correct. You have to blip the throttle. So that's lesson number 1 here. Got it? That's the only way to do torque rolls or any sort of hovering maneuver. If you're not constantly blipping the throttle like a madman, you ain't doing it right. That's not serious at all. That's definitely not serious. Yeah, whatever. Okay, if you don't want to use aileron, you still have to blip the throttle extremely fast. You should focus more on blipping the throttle than actually flying the maneuver. I've been seeing a bunch of posts about flipping the throttle. I know you are, Hugo. It's all good. I saw some posts and comments on the Facebook group like, he doesn't blip the throttle. You gotta blip the throttle. I blip the throttle because I want more air over the control surface at that point. And I'm like, you're telling me if you're doing some sort of rolling Harrier maneuver, this little blip of throttle right here is going to be just enough to get you where you need to go? I don't buy it. You don't need to do that. But anyways, back to torque rolling. Hugo does bring up a good point. Where should you start? You know, I've kind of found that you can get into a rhythm with you know, a torque roll. So some airplanes you can find a nice pace where you're using a little bit of aileron to help, but you're not, you know, forcing it, where you're not like pegging it, but a little bit of aileron to help you get a little bit of a rhythm going. And then of course a good way to practice this is, you know, hover with the canopy in, let it torque around, hover with the wing in, hover with the belly in, and then hover with the other wingtip in, and be good in all 4 of those places before you really start trying to mesh it together. It's not more. The blimp of air just makes the tail slightly more effective during the blimp. True, but if you've listened to like some of the throttle blippers out there, it's so minute and just you'd be better off just giving more throttle. It's the same thing. I don't know. I just find it funny. Some people are just determined to blip the throttle. It's like we're going to be in a world where the amount of times you blip the throttle is actually what gets you a higher score. Yeah, belly in is definitely going to be the hardest area for torque rolls. So let me get belly in location. So right here is where things are going to be tough. And I think the best way to practice that, so if you're kind of comfortable in inverted Harrier, would be to, so let me get this just right. Okay, not inverted Harrier, sorry. I think one good way to kind of do this is Harrier towards yourself, kind of like this, and make sure you're comfortable and can, you know, turn both directions and all that fun stuff. And then slowly, because that's the same rudder input, get comfortable with the belly of the airplane just being towards you. And also too, there's all the tricks. So if the nose is going to the right, you want to give an input to the right. If the nose is going to the left, you want to give an input to the left. I try not to like follow rules like that, because you really want to shoot for like the whole second nature. Canopy, yeah. There's definitely, you know, by following the nose of the rudder with the nose of the airplane with the rudder, it's definitely like how to make sure your bearings are correct. But if you're sitting here and you get to this point and you're like, okay, I got to make sure I give rudder input to where the nose is going, it's too late. So there's a balance there. Just be careful when you're practicing it. But that is definitely a good way to start. Belly in, you know, my nose is going to the right. All right, I want to give right rudder. And then when the canopy's in, my nose is going to the left. I want to give right rudder, so it's opposite. But I think that is one good way to to practice. Just practice just with the plane coming at you a little bit. Probably with the foamy, it's gonna be your best route. Probably shouldn't be doing that with 100cc, but you know, working your way to that point, it's definitely tough. And then once you get to where, okay, I can hover with the belly in, no problem. I want to add in the torque roll. It's gonna come super easy. Like, I promise you. Once you get that down, it's gonna be super simple. And like I said, start, because you're gonna get in a rhythm. Like some airplanes, you know, they're just gonna sit there and you don't have to do anything almost. Where some are gonna take a little bit more control. Like I said, the throttle blipping is not too big of a deal. And then also have if you are, what visual cues are you watching on the airplane? When I'm hovering, this is where I wish I had my like face cam with like a practice plane in front of me. The main point I usually look at, so when I'm doing this, I'm not looking at the wingtips, I'm not looking at the tail, I'm looking where the wing meets the nose of the airplane, kind of around my CG. I'm definitely looking more towards the nose, and the main reason is that's where you need a base, kind of, you know, that's where my visual cue is. I know at that point, you know, if you're looking at the tail, things are going to be weird. If you're looking at your wingtip, I always try and base everything off where the wing meets the fuselage. That's my visual area to look at. That's what I'm looking at when I'm doing a torque roll. And I think for a lot of maneuvers, that's one of the best places to look as a visual cue. So I know it, you know, like we talked about earlier, if you are doing a torque roll, you know, that at that point is where you're gonna see what happens there. Like, you're gonna see the airplane's movement or what direction it's falling to at that point before you see it at the tail or at the wing or like the wingtip. That might be a good place to start. I don't know. That's how I've always did it. But it's different for other people. Like when learning rolling Harriers, that's also the same spot I look at. But then you're going to get to the point where you don't really need that visual cue anymore. But like I said earlier, one big thing too is, you know, if you're not comfortable doing Harriers and stuff, get there. But I think really taking time to practice just hovering canopy in. So I think some people skip that step of being very comfortable canopy in. I think that might be overlooked in some situations. And also making sure you get both wingtips. Like right now, I wouldn't even say I'm like super comfortable just holding it right there. I mean, it's not too bad. I can do it, but I'm honestly to the point where I'd much rather be belly in than with a wingtip towards me, which is kind of weird, but it's one of those things. So hopefully that helps with torque rolls a little bit. Torque rolls are hard too because some people just see them differently. I know I saw one example of a guy saying for hovers and torque rolls, it's like, imagine you have a broom in your hand and you're bouncing a broom on your hand. And that kind of works for me, but then I don't know. It's like you balance a broom by moving it opposite, all that fun stuff. You know, you get what I'm saying though. If you're trying to balance like a long stick in your hand or anything, you're moving your hand opposite of what the way it's actually moving. That's definitely not the best explanation of that, but it's one way to explain it. I'm getting hungry. Oh my lord. So if there's any other maneuver requests, let me know. Oh. The downward dog, I've literally never heard of that. It definitely doesn't sound like a 3D maneuver. It sounds like a different kind of maneuver. Downward dog. That can't be real. Is that really a thing? I've never heard of that. Yoga. Oh, yeah. I mean, if you guys are wanting to see a yoga stream, this probably isn't going to be the place you want to be. Yeah. I probably suck at landing more than anything else. I can... Landing, it's funny. They need to have, like, a landing competition for top 3D pilots. And I guarantee some would do miserably. I don't think I'd even do that good. Though I will say for, like, landing aerobatic airplanes, there's one trick that I had a really good pilot teach me a long time ago. And it's kind of where to look and how to gauge your approach angle. So, I wish I could... Is there any way to pause? If I can pause, I can do this. I don't know the... is there a pause button? Landing contest while dead stick? Yeah, that would be awesome. Pause button. Is that a thing? Maybe not. I don't think you guys can see my clicker. Oh, you can see the clicker. Or my... You know what I'm saying, the pointer. I don't think there's a pause button, but I'll try to explain it real quick for you, poor man FPV. Pause break button on your keyboard. Pause break button. I don't think I have one of those. Here, let's take a look at this one more time. If I can't find it, I'll stop wasting my time. But pause break. Movement. Environment. Miscellaneous. Look at my aircraft. Clear position. Oh no. Okay. I'm just gonna wing it. That's how this usually goes anyways. So for landing like a 3D airplane, the main thing I look at is the relationship of my leading edge of the wing and the leading edge of the tail. So I'm gonna come in at a really steep angle, and then, so pay attention. So if I come in at a steep angle like this, like right there, you know, that's not the best angle of approach. See, my keyboard has page up, page down, and then the home button. So whatever that, I don't know. It was effectively paused for us viewers when you had the context menu open at the top. Wait, if I just do this, it doesn't pause it. I think we'll be fine without pause. I'll try it without pause. If not, then I can make a video on this too. This actually be a really good video, but we'll try it real quick. So if I'm landing a 3D airplane, let's say I'm coming in really steep, so I'm coming in like this. You know, my airplane is literally almost pointing at the ground. Notice how the leading edge of the tail is above the leading edge of the wing. That's what you want to look for. So if I'm coming in for a landing and I'm coming in steep, I see that the tail is higher than my wing, I'm probably too steep. But if I'm coming in to land and I don't have a good angle, so I'm like struggling to, you know, I'm kind of like this, when the leading edge of the elevator is below the wing, I'm probably flaring a little too early or bleeding off too much speed. So when I come in to land, I really want the leading edge of the wing and my elevator leading edge to kind of line up, and you'll kind of see it, and you'll see like the really good angle. So right here, that's a nice approach. Kind of flare at the end, good to go. That's kind of how I gauge it. Of course, if you're landing gassers and stuff, you have it idle, that can all make it harder. But that's just kind of one visual thing that kind of helped me in the beginning. So right there, I was coming in too steep. Maybe that might help a little bit. And then if all else fails, just learn to Harrier land and no one will ever see you actually land. There's a reason why I Harrier land a lot. I can do a video over that if people would be interested. It'd be a really quick video. That might be a how-to 3D maneuver of the day. How to land. Landing is technically a maneuver, right? Ooh, that's kind of cool. I always just go too slow. I mean, the nice part is at least you're not flying a warbird that hates going slow. 3D airplanes are so great. They're so tolerant of stuff like that. I wish I could fly like this in real life. That'd be great. I cracked my one wheel pan. Pissed me off. Wheel pants are the worst. They really are. But if you don't have them, everyone, you know, as soon as you say, you know what, screw wheel pants, someone walks up to you and says, dude, why don't you have wheel pants on your plane? You're like, ah, shut up. Yeah, spending money on wheel pants is probably the worst thing about this hobby, 3D flying, to be honest. Besides, IMAX knobs. Shots fired. Sorry. They're also 3D airplane snobs, so. There's always a snob. Maybe jet snobs. I don't know. There's some pretty bad jet snobs out there. Oh, you don't fly a turbine? Well, I'm sorry. You just have not advanced this far in the hobby. Even though I can't land it, and I don't know how it works. Jets are cool in the right hands. I had the, there's a guy in my original flying field, and he only flew jets, and he crashed them all the time. So I will say I've seen some pretty amazing jet crashes, and I mean I've seen some good 3D airplane crashes, but let me tell you, you see a good jet crash, changes your world. Like literal ball of flames. Like I saw a loop into the ground and it was amazing. But if it's like crash landing, like while landing, that's no fun. Yeah, I mean jets, they're only going to be so fun. And the 3D jets are just hovering machines. They're kind of obnoxious. But, I mean, some of them are pretty mechanically cool. Like, the people who build them and put a lot of work in them, that's really cool. I respect that a lot. Though I swear there was a time when every time I tried to fly a 3D airplane, someone tried to fly a jet at my original field, and I was just like, come on, guys. Why? Why do we do this to each other? One thing I have been looking into is, I don't remember his name, but he would do rifle rollers like, well, not like that, oh my lord. Sorry to the rifle roller gods who just witnessed that. So he'd be doing rifle rollers, and he'd throw in like snaps like this while he was doing them, and it's so cool. So he's going like that. I think it looks cool. I think it would judge really poorly, but I think it looks cool. Like, just if you could just be doing rifle rollers and just throwing some snaps like that, like, on the deck, that'd be cool. That's the equivalent of flying an FPV quad, and here comes the asshole with the DJI. That is literally perfect. That's exactly what that is. I think it looks really cool. I think it would judge poorly, because someone might say, well, I can't tell if he's doing that on purpose or he's just messing up his rifle roller. But I think it looks cool. Ugh. Okay, any other maneuvers I should hit tonight? I'll have another 3D maneuver of the day out tomorrow too. I started working on it after work, but I spent too much time on the couch because I was tired as can be. I'm trying, I just don't want them to turn into like 10-minute videos a piece because that's not what they're supposed to be. I just want quick references to maneuver, basic outline and description. And then, so if you're at the field and you're like, hey, what's that maneuver? Oh, let's go look at this giant archive of videos. Oh, that's how you do it. Okay, cool, let's practice. And not like a, okay, it says to do this, 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 and this. I think it's a cool idea. Oh my lord. That was silly looking, but we'll take it. Yeah, this will be uploaded on the channel. Yep, all my streams are uploaded directly by YouTube. It's actually a pretty cool feature. YouTube actually doing something right. See ya, Hugo Craft. I'd say this is a pretty successful stream. I should have been cool and continued doing that, but I didn't. Inverted snakes are cool, but RC airplanes don't like them as much as simulator airplanes. There's like a upside down snake. It's kind of stupid. Look at that altitude change when I switch rifle rollers. Not cool. Actually flying pretty good tonight. For those inverted snakes who seem to alternate the rudder, but now I'm confused again. Now I'm confused. See, I don't think inverted snake is the right term for that, but I don't think, maybe we shouldn't call it inverted snake anymore. Come up with a new maneuver. But yeah, I am changing rudder inputs. That's my new goal. Name that maneuver that's non-inverted snake. Because snake is definitely one rudder input. That's the James Winstead special. For now. This might be silly and you probably say it's all preference, but expo, I set my extra up on the recommended. Not inverted snake seems like a perfectly fine name. That works for me. I set my extra up on the recommended high rates and low rate in expo. It seemed ridiculous to me to have 80% expo on high rates. Whoever told you to put 80% expo on high rates was high. Definitely don't want 80% expo. I typically start at about 55 on every service and go up or down in increments of 5% expo until I find the specific place that works best for me. It's in the manual from 3D Hobby Shop. Well, it's wrong. I mean, maybe someone might like 80% expo, but I really don't see why you would need that much. I'd say go back down to 50 or 60 and then see how that feels, and then go down or go up. I can't imagine flying with 80% expo. That would be terrible. You would do more bad than good. That might be if that's on your extra, that might be why you have trouble landing, because you have to move the stick so far just to do it what you want. Oh, that's actually a cool line. I really like that. Yeah, that's actually a really good idea, putting the expo on a potentiometer. Like just a knob. Until you accidentally hit the knob, like, while testing it, and you are flying with, like, negative expo. A good tip about expo, too, having no expo is almost like having negative expo. So I would always recommend having 20 or 30% no matter what. Yeah, that's a really good tip. I like that. I might try that next time. Yeah, 80%. No, that's a no-go. No bueno. No bueno. Alright, one more flight and I'm done. This is the last flight, boys. I'm gonna make it epic. Gonna break a world record for hovering. Who knows? Who knows what could happen? Might just fly IMAC, you never know. I might never land. Cause I'm a cool kid. Rifle rollers. If you can't do that, you're not cool. Switch. Oh, that was so bad. You can even set up the knob with the right range, say 10. Yeah. What radio are you doing that on? No iMac. Yeah, I'm not an iMac. I respect iMac a lot. It's just not my favorite thing to do. I think everyone should try it. I mean, I like trying it every now and then, but being just an iMac pilot, that's not for me. Why try and fly like full-scale airplanes when we can do literally so much more cool stuff? Cool's all a relative term, though, so I can definitely understand. It does have the aspect of being judged and all that fun stuff, but... Snapping out the wing over. Oh. Yeah, the Tyrannus 9. That Tyrannus radio is awesome. I wish I'd gotten it instead of my X7, but money at the time just wasn't there for the. I know it sounds bad because it's literally like an extra $100, but I think the OpenTX stuff is really cool. I think that you really can't beat it for what it is. People hate on it, but I have a Jetty radio, and I feel like I'm one of the very few who can like literally say I've been on both ends of the spectrum, and there are pros and cons to both. And for the value, though, you can't beat it. So I've lost both my landing gear at this point. Oh. Well, rip. I tried to do the dirty hover rolling to the right and just, I shouldn't have tried at that angle. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for me tonight. Thanks for coming out to the stream. Check out all the links in the description if you don't mind. Please like this video. Please follow the How to 3D maneuver of the day. So I'm going to try and upload every day, or probably more like every 2 days is really what it's going to be. See ya, Santa Mike. Thanks for always watching, man. I appreciate it. But I got more cool stuff in the works. Gonna throw some video up of Crack flight and maybe another MXS flight, and then another build video possibly, and then the Park Flyer Freestyle competition announcement video. I'm hoping early next week or this weekend. So stay tuned. Thanks for coming to the stream. If you missed it, next time, always the same night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. See you, Poor Man FPV. Another good place if you want to chill and chat is the thread on RC groups. I do monitor that well, just as much as my Facebook page. So thank you guys for coming out, and I will see you next stream or video or whatever. See you next time.